29th. 3 days in this miserable year. Can't wait till it's over. So I'm driving my truck. Driving my truck today. That means I am not planning on DoorDashing tonight. Wouldn't use my truck to DoorDash unless I just really, really had to. I've done it once, and it was not practical. It's like driving a tank, like DoorDashing in a tank. You know, you cannot squeeze into anything. It's a big old nice truck. You know, turning around and all different kinds of stuff is tougher to do. But if I had to, I would use my truck. Especially working after work, it wouldn't be a great big deal. Because my car's in the shop right now. Took it to the shop yesterday. They said they had to order the parts. I don't get that. We took it in, they looked at it, they see what was wrong with it. We scheduled an appointment for 3 or 4 days afterwards. You would have thought they would have ordered the parts within those 3 or 4 days. Blah, blah, blah. So, the parts, I guess, are going to come in today. Hopefully they'll get it fixed today. It all stems from when I hit the curb. You know, I was pulling out of an apartment complex, no lights. You know, that's par for the course. There was a car parked right in the front door of the apartment complex because they were waiting for somebody, and I went around them. And when I got around them, I gave it a little bit of gas, thinking that the road went straight. The road didn't go straight. It would have made sense if it went straight, but we all know all these parking lots make absolutely no sense. And I went straight, the road went like this, and I hit a curb. And I punctured my tire, had to get the tire replaced, and I just barely kinked the oil line. I mean, it was just a little bitty drip. Never even had to put oil in the car. That's how small the drip was. I checked it a bunch of times. But it's got to be repaired. I fix stuff right away. I don't mess around. Because if you let something like that go, it'd be a lot bigger deal. And I'm not letting it get to that. Oh, it's going to cost, with the tire, a minimum of $1,500. Oh, man. Oh, what a gut shot. Oh. So, it's what it is. I mean, I did it. It's all my fault. Got nobody else to blame but me. Just a mistake. Made a $1,500 mistake. Oh. It's hard to process. I have the money right now. Just got that big unemployment check, so it's what it is. I hate for $1,500 of it to go to a car repair place, but it is what it is. You can get it done, get it over with. God, I just need to get it done. Hopefully today. Hopefully they'll get that done today. That's a big deal. I don't mind taking off today. I don't mind at all. I could use the rest. I would have probably taken off yesterday anyway. But hey, the rest of the week, I think it's going to be, minimally as busy as it was last week, if not a lot busier. Usually New Year's Eve is like the Super Bowl food delivery. Kind of like the day before Thanksgiving. Hopefully the app holds up. That's another old mess. But I can still make $1,000 this week in my mind. Even taking off yesterday and today. And that pays 2/3 of that bill. So hopefully they'll get it fixed today. If not today, by tomorrow, 100% for sure. Because after that, I might have, if it's not fixed by New Year's Eve, we'll probably use my truck. Oh, I don't want to. So, and of course, that's what the video's all about. Do you have a viable way to pay for a repair like that? Whether it's all your fault, whether like it was, this was my fault, 100%. That's a dumb pay for something like that. Even I could have turned this into my insurance company, but I would have had $1,000 deductible. So at least you have $1,000. That's what you got to have minimally for something like this. It could be somebody hit you. Your car's still going to have to go to the shop. You're still going to have to find a way to work. Like they gave us a loaner car. I'm not using that to DoorDash. I'm not. Too many bad things that happen with that. Your insurance company may give you a rental car. Would you DoorDash with that? I don't know. If I had to, maybe. If I had to, I would probably use my truck instead if DoorDash was my only source of income. Just some things, more variables to consider when you consider how much are you going to depend on DoorDash for your primary source of income. As I'm driving down the road right now, I'll like to come on. I've never had any trouble with the truck at all. It's going to be 5 years old. It's in 2017. At some point, something is going to go, and I'm going to get a light, and I'm going to have to deal with that. You have a viable way to pay for that. In my case, do I have a bunch of money put away? No. But I do have a credit card, stuff like that, so you just got to have a viable way to pay for it. That's something to consider. Now we got tax season coming up. Are you set up for that? Did you at least keep track of your mileage? If you didn't, you better find a way to figure it out. It's not too hard to figure it out. Get a notebook. Start back. If you worked all year, you can start January 1st, figure out what days you worked, and put some mileage down. It's that simple. You can go back through the app and see what days you worked, see how long you worked, the whole 9 yards. It wouldn't even be that hard to figure out. Take a day, like today, if you're working today, you take that time that you spend, see how many miles you drove, and then times that by, figure out how many miles an hour you're driving, and then go back and see how much time you've worked, and you can times it by that many miles. It's that simple. And then, go back through the days and calculate each day like that. It's a viable way to do it if you haven't done it. My book is up to date. So I'm grateful for that. There's apps. If you don't want to do that, and then starting today, get on the Stride app and have that start to keep track of your mileage. It's that simple. I may go to the Stride app this year. I've been an old school guy and using pen and paper, but the app would probably be easier. But I'm stubborn. So hopefully you got that figured out. Hopefully you got a viable way to pay for something if something goes wrong. Your fault, somebody else's fault, nobody's fault. Car just has a light come on. It happens. Since I've been driving, I've had this. I've had to replace the brakes and rotors. I've had to buy battery. I've had to, do other stuff. I can't think of oil changes, of course, but I've had other stuff. Tires. Oh yeah, actually I need to replace the other tire on the other side too. This will be the 4th tire, I'm pretty sure, that I've replaced just since I've been door dashing. You're putting wear and tear on your car. You got to keep up with it. Do you have a viable way to do that? Whether it's you're putting money away or you got a credit card, something like that. And then you got to consider all of that when you're figuring out how much you want DoorDash to be. How much of your could have made $100,000 this next year just doing DoorDash. There's no doubt in my mind that I could have, but by the end of the year, I don't think that my car would be on the road maybe still. So I could cut that in half or even more, and my car lasts, at least many years till it's paid off probably. So and that's when I decided to get that paid. That fed into my decision to get a W-2, like I talked about yesterday. You got to consider all that stuff. So that's what this video is all about. Just considering anything and everything that can happen, and are you ready for it? Repairs, accidents, anything else that can come up. You can get sick. If you're doing DoorDash and you get sick and you have to take off a couple days, it's not like when you work at a company and you have sick days, you're just not going to make money those days. And the way things are right now, if you haven't had COVID, you're probably going to get it at some point. I'm not sure, somehow immune to it. I had it. Glad I did. I'm glad it's over. I know I could get it again. It probably wouldn't be near as bad. Blah blah blah. But I still would have to miss work. Now at my W-2 job, I would get paid. They say there's a way to get paid through DoorDash. I don't know. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. I know that. Just be prepared for just anything that can happen, and consider that when you are preparing. How much DoorDash do I want DoorDash or the other gig apps to be my percentage of income? Because that's how we're going to do things going forward. You're not just going to have one primary source. You're going to have several sources of income. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but in the years forward, everybody's going to have 2 or 3 sources of income. It's just the way it's going to be. It's just the way the economy is moving. And I don't pretend to know exactly how it's all going to work, because I do not know. Some people think that the government is going to have to give us so much money a month to survive, because the type of jobs that'll be left after the robots take over are not going to be enough to pay our bills. I mean, that's a pretty big thought process that goes on right now. That's what the child care tax credit is all about. It's just the government giving people money to stay afloat. Because they're probably, not making. Some families aren't able to make as much money as they could before the pandemic, because their kids probably could get COVID, or teachers could get COVID. Not this year so much, but last year, the schools were only 4 days a week, and then they were shut down all the time. So, people had to stay home. Childcare was, and the childcare places were closing. So that's how the childcare tax credit came alive. So just all kinds of stuff to consider when you consider doing DoorDash. Be ready. Bad things are going to happen. You may not be stupid like me and hit a curb for no reason, but something's going to happen. You're going to have to replace things on your car, things like that. Tires, brakes for sure, batteries, alternators, water pumps, all that kind of stuff. All that kind of stuff is going to come up as you put more and more miles on your car. That's enough for today.